when you stand next to Darnell Washington, you two are the complete opposite, but are always bonding.
I'm his bodyguard. I got to protect him.
They're announcing the offense Sunday, right, guys?
They need to. We don't deserve to be announced right now.
Well,
I scored, and then I saw DK. We were hyped. Everybody was hyped, and then after the game, we was like, we didn't do it.
Support for this show comes from Starbucks. It's finally here. No, I'm not talking about fantasy football. 4 words: Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes. Embrace fall with this seasonal classic pumpkin spice latte. Handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, and real pumpkin. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Get it while it's hot or iced. What's up, everybody? Cam Heyward, Hayden Walsh. We are here for not just football. Want to jump right into our game, and we got college stuff we got to address, NFL we got to address, and we also have a pretty cool guy who came on and talked about how he played in the game and what he's got going on, Calvin Austin. It's good. It's a great listen, so make sure you listen to it. But Hayden, how'd you feel about the game this week?
Calvin Austin is a pretty cool guy. Thanks for throwing that in there as a nice descriptor of him. He is cool. The game was incredible to be at. Obviously, I went to it. Incredible game. A very very well played game. Both offenses look really good. And I mean, I don't know how you get more than a sentence in without mentioning the best kicker in the league. Chris Boswell continues to amaze, man. I mean, I would love to hear your opinion on it, but I also would love to know what's it like knowing you got a guy that if you even get on the other side of the 50, I mean, that you've always told me too, kicking on that part of the turf, right where the paint is yes. Very challenging. Very. And for him to knock that thing, and Cam, that thing would have been good from 70. Yeah. So what you tell me what you thought. Obviously the defense struggled. We'll get into that, but go into Boz a little bit and what you saw from your offense.
Coach said it best. Our kicker is a serial killer. And but you watch that series of events. We get a stop on defense late. Our offense starts moving the ball. I think we got a PI that got us across the 50. And then we started going backwards, and you're like, man, are we going to kick here? Are we going to punt? What's the thing? I think we had 2 timeouts, but didn't feel like there was a lot of time. And I think it was still up in the air a little bit. And then I hear people start saying field goal. And I'm like, oh, all right, we're going to try it. And we go out there, and I play tight end. That is the worst position to play on field goal. And they're still pushing after the play. So, and I didn't even get to see the ball go through the uprights. And all I heard was a big gasp from the crowd of just everybody was kind of stunned that Boz just hit this 60-yard kick. And then you hear Boz just start talking shit, and it was awesome.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Boz was talking shit?
Boz, Kuntz, they all talk shit.
Kuntz too. Well, he did. Hey, great stat by my boy Kuntz. Love that guy. Great stat.
Shout out Kuntz. But our old linemen are out there. I didn't even get a chance to look because I'm still getting pushed, and I end up with my foot on my back because I was getting blown up on it. But Boz delivered in that moment. I was like, man, that's a hell of a freaking kicker. But man, kudos to that dude. We needed him on Sunday.
I mean, he's just the best in the league, and there's really no way around it. The guy's the most reliable. I mean, might be the most reliable player in the league. You just know it's good every time. What'd you think of Aaron Rodgers? I thought he played great. He looked really good. I thought the offense looked really good too.
I think our skill positions in Aaron, they came to play. They really got the job done. Got in space and were running. DK had some really just unbelievable explosion plays that usually go for a 4-yard gain. He turned into a 20 to 30-yard gain. And you don't see that often. That is why he's here, right? And he proved it again. Watching Jonnu come out of the backfield on a sweep, we've never had a guy that could really do it like that, which is different. Everybody had a hand in it. Jalen Warren becoming the full-time starter, but also having Kenny Gainwell in there as well, getting a big play on special teams. We talk about white shirts being big on our special teams. Between him, Connor, Ben Skoranek, there are recognizable white shirts that get it done for our group. and they really showed out. Ben Skoranek catching the first passing touchdown. I bet you in your little gambling or whatever, nobody had that.
I mean, somebody could have had it. They just probably didn't do it. It would probably be like plus 10,000. No offense to Ben, but listen, I wish I could go back in time and would have taken advantage of it. He played great. I think too, when we talked to, Aaron Rodgers, this during training camp, he talked about, guys stepping up on championship teams that maybe aren't household names, but you need everybody to play. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell had a ton of snaps on offense, but for him to be on special teams, forcing that ball out and then Ben being there to recover it and then getting points off that immediately following. A lot of guys played. I mean, even Pat Freiermuth only had 3 catches, but all 3 catches were very big. 2 third-down conversions. Yeah. I mean, it just was a really, really nice effort from the offense. And I know the offensive line had some struggles, but I think they did enough to win that game.
Yeah.
Aaron got sacked too much. They didn't run it as well as they wanted to, but when he needed to make plays, they helped make plays. So I thought
the offensive line really gutted it out at the end. Were they perfect? No, but they were a consistent unit that was trying to get better throughout the game. And in the hardest of moments, they really stepped up.
Well, and back to Ben too, on one of DK's big plays, Ben has the huge block that springs him too. So Ben's doing it, scoring offense. He's getting blocks. He's also recovering fumbles. I mean, really, really impressive unit by them. All right,
let's go to more from Ben. You can check one of our other episodes. So have a listen.
We should get him back on too. We need to get him back on. He was great on the episode. I mean, Aaron Rodgers stole his headphones. So let's go to your side of the ball. Defense struggled. There's no way around it. You tell us. You've been telling us for 4 years. Stopping the run is your most important job. That is the one thing you want to do. Weirdly, you guys had a ton of pressures. The pressure rate was really high. But what happened?
I don't think we got off blocks enough. I don't think we were fitting in our gaps. And I don't think, it was if it wasn't one guy, it was another guy. And I don't think we ever had 11 guys doing their jobs at all times. And it showed. We got to own this, get better from it. But I will say at the end, we made critical plays. The one play I will say that is like so underrated is that the end of the first half and watching Jalen Ramsey kind of galvanize the group and just start,
the fight.
Start fighting, but start playing with some emotion. And I think from the second half on, there was definitely a change in demeanor in our group. It needs to start faster from here on out. And then, watching him and Garrett Wilson go back and forth at the end of the first half, and then to watch what played out at the end of the second half, and Jalen Ramsey delivering like that, man, that was really cool to see. I think it was just really cool to see all these new Steelers go ahead and ball out. And they won us that game.
Yeah, Ramsey was great. And the thing I thought about him, and I knew we knew this going in, but he lined up in a bunch of different places. You don't know where he's going to be. And I mean, huge hit at the end. And like you said, at the end of the day, you guys got the stops you needed. What did the Jets do well? And is it, you say you know what you need to do, is it for us fans who don't understand as well, is it as easy a fix of just getting off blocks, or is there more that needs to be done?
I think it's not just getting off blocks, but being in your gaps and being sound. Sometimes you can get thirsty, you can try to do too much. Sometimes you gotta get your shit pushed in to let you know you gotta get it correct. And so I'm not running away from it, but we got to get better. That was not how we wanted to play. It was interesting to see that our offense lead the way, but defense has got to get it back together, and look forward to answering the call.
And I would imagine you're expecting to get a very similar game plan this weekend coming up against Seattle, right? Now the teams think they can run the football. They're going to continue to try to do that until you guys prove you can stop it, right?
Yeah. Mike T always talks about, unlike field goal, right? Not having that smell of there's blood in the water. And you got to answer for that week in and week out until you correct it for, X amount of weeks. So we're going to get a good dose, and, we got to answer for it, but I think we have the guys to do it. It's just about cleaning our shit up and get going.
And I want to bring up one thing. Juan Thornhill made a comment because you guys had faced Aaron Rodgers a good amount in camp that maybe Justin Fields' speed and mobility kind of you guys maybe weren't as prepared for it because you hadn't seen it as much in camp. What did you think of Justin Fields? You saw him a ton last year in practice and on games. And do you think there's merit to what he said that because you saw so much of Rodgers who doesn't move around as much that it was a little bit of a change?
I don't play too much stock in that because we still have other quarterbacks that are trying to emulate. It's not just Aaron. But it's hard preparing for a guy like Justin. I think it's when you look at athleticism, it goes Lamar then Justin Fields when it comes out there. Justin made mostly the right reads the entire game. I will say when you get in the red zone with Justin Fields, he's going to keep the ball, and we did not take advantage of that. And that's that. If we get out of that situation right there, then you don't need a kick.
The bootleg, right?
Yeah, that bootleg. Yeah. Because we get them to a fourth down and 2 or 3. That's a clear opportunity for us to get off field. But it came down to, we won the game by 2 points. We were able to get off the field on a fourth down play. We were able to get off the field on a 2-point play. There were things in there that we can look to say these are good, but there's a lot we still got to work on.
Is that the best kind of victory where you win a game, defense didn't play great, you got a lot to improve on, but you still won the game so you can go back and watch and kind of be like, all right, we got to clean some shit up, but at least we got the W today?
The best type of victory is when you win big and have a bunch of sacks.
Got to be happy a little bit because he can be like, "Listen, y'all aren't as good as you. We got to keep going, right?" Like coaches got to love winning like that, where you can kind of get up in a unit's ass and say, "Hey, y'all got to be better. The offense carried you today. Where y'all got to be better." I bet Tomlin's loving the way that ended up.
Redemption Sunday is going to come very soon.
Are you? Do you just throw that tape out, like watch it once, maybe?
No. I'm watching it multiple times. My technique's got to be a lot better. Still knocking off a little bit of rust, but this is just the name of the game. Got to get better, and I could say the same thing last year. We played Atlanta, we won, but these first couple games, you're still trying to get back in your flow of it all.
And one last thing on this game, what happened to you down the goal line? The little pellets got in the eye?
I got hands to the face, and then there was something rubbing my eye, and I still ran to the ball, but then I couldn't fully see out of it. So I was like, I'm not going to run back to the ball and have one last eye to be ready for the next play. We're just not going to do that. So, yeah.
I figured it was the turf. How they have.
Yeah, I did. I had a piece of turf all the way behind, so they had to drain it out. But
all right. Well, good. Everything's good though. The eye's fine. No cornea or retina damage on you. You're good.
We good.
Okay. Are you going to wear goggles next week? Maybe.
I wear a visor. That's the funny thing.
You should go the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar rec specs. That you'd look sweet in those.
That doesn't work. The only person I've known in football who did that was Eric Dickerson, and we're not doing that.
He was pretty good. I think Lenora Sellers did it too a few years. The quarterback at South Carolina. I think he got contacts now, but he was doing it. So.
Offensive players.
Well, that's fair too. Okay. All right. Well, hey, gonna be Redemption Sunday's coming this weekend. Defense has got some stuff to answer to. That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to college football. I know your team took a little bit of a loss, but how'd you feel about it?
I think it's funny. Bryce Underwood's getting a.
Let me just set it up a little bit better.
Okay.
Oklahoma beat Michigan in Oklahoma. How did you feel?
You said I think Bryce Underwood's numbers don't look very good, but I thought the Michigan coaching staff offensively did him no favors. I thought they played scared. I'm interested to hear. How much of the game did you watch?
I watched a good bit of it.
What was your opinion of Oklahoma's quarterback? He's now considered, I think, the Heisman frontrunner. I think he's a good player. I will say, too, though, I think there's things mechanically where he's flawed, where he airmailed a few passes that I didn't think Michigan took advantage of. And I think Oklahoma gave Michigan every chance to be back in that game. But what did you think of Mateer when you saw him play?
I thought he played with a lot of energy. And his feet in getting out of the pocket, and I think he was the determining factor between both teams. I thought he stood out, not just with his arm. I know he had some airmails, but he also had some really good passes. But I thought what really, really stood out is when he was kind of scrambling back there, making stuff happen.
Yeah, no, I also think they just had a better game plan. He's also played a lot more football than Bryce Underwood, so that's expected. But I just didn't think Michigan did a very good job putting him in situations. But I will say, John Mateer now is the Heisman frontrunner. He plays, I guess, like what you would call like a gunslinger, kind of like he's just back there slinging around, got a very good arm. And hey, you know, I know there were a ton of scouts there to watch him play, but yeah, disappointing as a Michigan fan. They didn't play very well, I didn't think, on offense or defense, but still had a chance to be in it late. But man, it was
I got a question for you.
What?
Bryce Underwood, after the game, did you see the little thing of him getting in an argument with another player?
I saw that happen during the game. He got into it with Justice Haynes during the game. I don't know what's going on there. You would know better than me. I feel like that stuff happens all the time. Yeah. And is it maybe just weird because he's a freshman quarterback who is doing? Is that why it's weird? That you could tell me that happens all the time on the sidelines, right?
Usually not with rookies, but
well, let me ask you this: if the rookie's making more money than everybody there, I think the rookie probably has
I don't give a damn about the money.
But that's the thing. That's not how it works in the NFL. The money talks in college. He could say whatever he wants. I mean, let's be real.
You think a freshman, and I'm like, take Bryce Underwood out of it. If a freshman is going to talk to a senior in that way, I don't know if it was a senior, but
yeah, he's not a senior. He's also a transfer who came in. And I think, too, taking Bryce Underwood out of it is also ignoring the fact that the school just gave him $13 million. He's the number one overall recruit in the country. And if you're going to keep anybody happy here, you're going to keep that quarterback happy, because the last thing you want is him going in the transfer portal. So Bryce Underwood, as far as I'm concerned, can probably do whatever he wants on the sideline, and Michigan's going to let him do it. I mean, it's just a different game now. I mean, I know. You know, listen.
Wow.
I mean, it's just the facts.
Wow.
That's the truth. Let me ask you this. If Jeremiah Smith had blown up last year on the sideline, you think anybody would have said a word about it? No.
Depending on how it...
No.
No.
They wouldn't have.
Yes, they would have. Would have said something. If he was wrong, you say he's wrong.
I just don't think that's right. I think they would have just would have moved on.
I don't think it's right.
They would have moved on. They would have moved on. They wouldn't have. It's whatever. Like you said, this happens all the time. I don't know what happened. I mean, how do we know Justice Haynes didn't do something wrong and Bryce Underwood's telling them like they're going at it on that? Right.
Very true. Very true.
I mean, you know, you never know. All right, well, let's move on to any other college football games here. Did you happen to see the stunner in Gainesville?
I saw the last minute kick.
That's how it was for me, too. I'm not going to lie. I was watching the Michigan game and looked up and realized South Florida was kicking for the win. The whole thing on this, though, I want to give South Florida a shout-out here. Yes. They've played a very tough schedule to start the season. They beat Alabama, right? It was Alabama, right? Who'd they just beat? Who'd they just beat? Sorry, I'm on everything now. South Florida had a big win last week, and they got a huge win this week. They're ranked top 15. They play Miami this week. They could be a top 10 team after this week. Boise. That's right. They crushed Boise State. They smoked them. And so that's what I'm saying. That's two tough games to start the year. Give them credit. Going to Gainesville. And Florida has a very good quarterback in DJ Langway, or who people think is a very good quarterback. Give a shout out to South Florida, man. The Bulls.
Still got to play Charlotte. And, it's going to be a tough game. But
man, you know Highsmith's going to be amped up for that one. Wouldn't you love to see Charlotte just stun them?
Highsmith has definitely been hyping up Charlotte, and then they lost to App State week 1. So he definitely got it in the group chat. I'm just going to let you guys know.
Well, who'd they beat week 1 that he could hype up?
It wasn't even – they didn't beat anybody. They're just struggling right now.
Okay.
But looking ahead, there's some pretty good games. You got any games you're looking forward to watching?
This weekend, it feels like the SEC is on display. I think the big ones, obviously, Georgia and Tennessee at Tennessee. Georgia doesn't look as great as I think everyone thinks, so I'm kind of excited to see that. I think Tennessee can beat them. I don't know if they will, but Tennessee's got a shot in that game in Knoxville. You're not going to watch any of these, are you?
I'm going to look at that Wisconsin-Alabama game.
Don't do this.
All my boys from Wisconsin are tuned in, and they're acting like we got a shot at Alabama. And let's be honest, Alabama's gettable right now. And so it's not out of the realm of possibilities for Wisconsin to get some of that roll tide in their life.
Do me a favor. and do yourself a favor. I don't know. I feel like you guys always make wagers with your colleges. I don't know what the wagers are, or whatever. Go ahead and bet them that Alabama's going to smoke Wisconsin on Saturday. Just crush them. The game's in Tuscaloosa. If you're smart, get a little wager. And I don't know if it's dinner. I don't know if it's whatever you want, but don't believe that. You're just saying this just to, I know what you're doing here. You know there's no chance in hell Wisconsin's winning that football game, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, good. That tells me all.
Hey, Rudy got in the game.
What?
It's possible.
No, Rudy. Rudy. I don't think actually did get in the game. That's all made up. You can't believe any of that story. That's all a lie. Okay, it's all a lie. It's none of that's real. All right. Before we get to your game, I do want to ask: any game from this weekend's NFL slate, Thursday, Friday, and the game Sunday and Monday that stood out to you?
I watched the Packers-Lions game on the plane. The one thing I will say, the Lions were just dropped back passing the entire game, and then watching Green Bay's D-line just kind of tee off was pretty cool to see. You saw Micah Parsons get a sack. You saw Devontae Wyatt. There was just a multitude of guys making a lot of big plays. And then at night, I watched Ravens versus Bills, but then I turned it off with 4 minutes left, so I look like an idiot.
I mean, you were probably a little exhausted. You did play a game that day, which I understand, but that was a fantastic game. I will say there is something weird with the Ravens where they've had like this weird stat where like they've been in the last like 2 or 3 years, maybe longer than that, they've had over a 90% win chance or percentage or whatever, and they've lost all those games. So they're having a hard time closing out games. And like the way they lost that game Sunday was so strange where Derrick Henry, who very rarely fumbled. They actually get a stop on a 2-point conversion. And then let me ask you this. If you got Lamar Jackson and it's 4th and 2, I don't care where you are. You're going for that to close the game out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put it in his hands and don't give it back to Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah. That type of game. It's a different version of Ben versus A-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't give those quarterbacks another opportunity because if they get another opportunity, they will make you pay. Whether it's going for it on 4th down or, going for an onside kick. It's just little things that don't seem like big things, but you can't provide more opportunities for these quarterbacks nowadays.
How many guys in the league, though, do you think are trusted 4th and 2 on their side of the 50, like the 35, 40-yard line, to go for it? Because there's only a handful of guys you can really trust.
You got. I'll put Aaron there. I put Pat Mahomes, Josh, Lamar, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford. Those are probably that's probably a safe bet. Like that's the crew right now. But you never know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Baker Mayfield. I mean, I don't know why I trust him. Give me a little gunslinger there. All right. So you turn the game off with 4 minutes left. Yeah. You're truly, I tried to tell you before the show too, if you played fantasy football, you probably would have kept it on or you gambled, but you don't do either.
No,
so
I was watching film and going to sleep.
You still should have stayed on. We'll get you in a fantasy league next year. The fans really loved your take on fantasy, by the way.
Did they?
No. A lot of people did not like it. A lot of people sided with me.
A lot of people don't like me, period. I'm not here to make everybody
that seems to be the way it is right now. But hey, we'll get over that. All right. Let's move on to your game this weekend. Seattle Seahawks coming in, home opener. This is now DK's turn to go against his old team. And I don't know if you guys have any other former Seahawks. But give me what you see from the Seahawks on film. They're coming off a loss to San Francisco.
Yeah, tough loss. I know it kind of ended with a strip sack, Nick Bosa on Darnold. But no, they have a good running game that starts with their running back, Michigan State alum, Kenneth. Why am I forgetting this?
Walker?
Kenneth Walker.
I really forgot that one, man.
Wow, I am blanking right now.
You must be tired.
I am a little tired. But they also have Nick Jigba outside. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got Leonard Williams up front. I thought he played amazing last year. And they've got some pieces on the outside with Witherspoon. So, it's definitely not a cakewalk. And I didn't even get a chance to mention Cooper Kupp. So We have to be on our A game. Defense has got to play a lot better, got to stop the run, but they can also air it out too. So we got a chance to right the ship, but it's not an easy contest. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, they have a good group of skill guys because the tight end's pretty good, AJ Barner, and then the backup running back Zach Charbonnet too. I don't know if you mentioned him. That's a big guy, man. They got two really good backs. I'm not as familiar with their offensive line. I'm sure you know a little bit better than that, but I'm interested to see what they look like defensively too because I think Mike McDonald's a very good defensive coordinator. So yeah, all right, we'll stop the run here. All right, so what do you? That's the game plan now. Okay,
stop the run, get after the pass.
Okay, we're gonna get you a couple sacks this week, hopefully.
Got to get going.
Okay. All right. Anything else we need to know before we go into Seattle? Anything else on Seattle?
I think it's less on Seattle, more about us. And I just think I'm interested to see how our offense continues to bounce back too. It's not a bounce back, but there's always things you can work on. DK is going to get a hell of a lot of attention in this game. Can other guys step up and can our offensive line get back on track?
Yeah, I'm excited to see the offense. I thought I saw some things this past Sunday that we hadn't seen the last year. So I'm excited to see what they look like. And very excited. I think I do want to know, though, during the game, what was it like watching Rodgers work? I know you've got to see Prime Ben. You've got to see a lot of great guys. But what was it like watching Aaron work?
It was very interesting because even on the play actions, it was like he had a sixth sense to get the ball out before the rush ever got there. And that's knowing your assignment, but also knowing others' assignments. And it's not by not preparing. That dude prepares his tail off. Like after games, before the games, he watches a lot of film. And he is a football junkie. I don't think he gets enough credit for how he approaches this game. So it was on full display, and he balled out.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's doing at the offensive line. Like, I'm not going to act like I do, but it is crazy to watch him. Like, he's like a maestro. It felt like he was just working back there. So really fun to watch him play. And I think it's Tone Diggs from Pat McAfee showed. I totally agree where he was like, it's fun as hell having Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback of your team. Like just watching him work. So hopefully they can keep going, man. I'm excited for the Sunday.
Got more work to do. All right. Well, guys, we want to get you guys to our episode because everybody wants to listen to Calvin Austin. So have a listen, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Support for this show comes from Starbucks. The real pumpkin spice latte is now in season at Starbucks. As a football player, the end of July through August is always challenging. It's the dead of the summer. I've got coaches putting me through drills as we get ready for the upcoming season. It's a part of the game I love, but only one thing gets me through the season, and that's pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks. That's right, Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes are officially back in the starting lineup. Handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, and real pumpkin. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. I was able to get my hands on a few PSLs. I gotta say, they're pretty awesome. So now that PSLs are back, coffee lovers everywhere can enjoy all the fall moments that happen at Starbucks all season long. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, get it while it's hot or iced. What's good, everybody? I'm Cam Heyward. You know Hayden Walsh, and this is Not Just Football. Welcome back after we just won a crazy game. Thanks to our offense for holding it down. But today we are joined by one of the wide receivers who got it done for us during the game, Calvin Austin from Memphis. Man, you guys put on a show today. I mean, a couple days ago, but man, how you feel about it?
Man, I feel good, and it was just what I feel like the best about just like how from the offensive side, like even from like the sideline, we like just stuck together throughout the whole game. And I remember after the game, some of the people were asking, like the media were asking, like, what did it feel? And I was just like, that was the main thing I felt was like throughout the whole game, I felt like we stuck together and had like great communication to where it was like no panic. If they went up 2 scores or whatever it was, like we like had no panic. And so like each time we took the field, it's like, especially playing out there with 8, like we had that mindset that like we're about to go down and score a touchdown, like not field goals, but like score touchdowns. And so I feel like that really was just a good feeling, especially for starting off week 1.
You bring up Aaron Rodgers threw for 4 TDs, 22 for 30, 244 yards in the Steelers' debut. What was it like taking the huddle with them and then watching them cook up all day?
Man, that was like it was like obviously it's like super cool, but just seeing like how poised he was like that's what something because obviously I mean this is our first game with him, so like practice is one thing, but the game is the game, and so I was interested to see just like how it's gonna be, after a bad play, after a sack, taking the field after something after they scored or something. But to see his poise, and especially there toward the end, like he started like just dialing it up, like you here do this, you this, like, and you could just see like he would be like looking, like you could see him like picturing it in his mind already. So like seeing that out there, like he putting you in the best position for real, like that, and that's just like a cool feeling going out there, knowing like all I got to do is run my route, and I know that like this is the best route for this defense.
What was it like, Calvin, late in that game? You look in the huddle and you see a 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers about to take you down the field. How much confidence did that unit have? You guys were going to go get in field goal range for Boz.
And like that's the thing. Like I feel like I don't know. Sometimes like it's sometimes a big discussion like, hey, we need to do this, like, but that's the thing, like it was literally like no talk about what we need, like what need to get done, because like I feel like everybody already, what I'm saying, like knew what was up, and especially going out there with 8, it was like we know like we just need to be running the right route with the right timing at the right depth, and the ball is going to come to us. And so that was, I feel like now that you say that, that's like looking back, that was the cool thing. Like there was really like no big talk about like, okay, we need to blah, blah, blah. Like, because I feel like throughout the game, like that was the mindset each time we took the field. Like everybody was just like knew what it was. Like everybody was like on that same page.
Okay, I want to bring up the offensive weapons, yourself included. You, DK, Jonnu Smith, Pat, Roman Wilson. I feel like everybody had a hand. Jalen Warren. It was
Kenny Gainwell too.
Gainwell.
Yeah.
You guys have so many options. Is there ever a feeling where it doesn't matter who's getting the ball, or man, there's enough to feed everybody?
I feel like even this game shows like it's more than enough to feed everybody, and that was a cool thing too. That I was talking about just on the sideline, how I felt like we was all together. Like we were all just trying to like like seeing what plays that we needed for the team that was good. Like I remember being at the end, like I remember telling Jalen and Kenny, we were all with the receivers down there. We were like, "Hey, we get this ball back. Like, we need to make sure we gotta O-line block and run it. Y'all run it, because like we need to run some time and get in field goal range. Like, so we were like just it felt like I said that game felt like everybody was just want to do whatever it takes to win, and with like all like with all the weapons we have, like everybody has like a different skill set with it too. So like I feel like everybody complements each other, and so like you got like John who you can throw screens to, jet sweeps, and then you got Pat who is like against zone or man, like can is always a winner. And so I feel like toward the end, like that's what we all just like honed into, like whoever has the best matchup, like let's attack that matchup.
How surprised how open you were on that end on that touchdown?
I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised
wide open
because that was the same play that Ben scored on, and so I'm like, the first time I'm like, okay, yeah, it works, but I'm like the second time we called it, I'm like maybe this is one that's gonna be check down to the flat to whoever that was in the flat. But I'm like, that's what I'm thinking at for this one. They saw it, the same motion, same look. And then so when I when in motion inserted and I see the cornerback flying down, I'm like, when I saw the cornerback flying down, my antennas went up. I'm like, oh, this finna be the hot corner, because in a lot of those rollouts, the corner isn't hit that many times. Like you may hit it a couple times a year, like that's not usually the one that's hit. And so when the corner came flying down, and I was like, oh yeah, this is one of the times that it's gonna hit. So it was cool that it was the same play as well, but you can see how in one play you got that many options, and that's one thing that Aid always tells us is like there are no like dead routes. Like he want everybody to feel like they're gonna have a chance to get the ball.
Okay, I got to bring this up. All week, you and DK have been practicing your little celebration, right?
We were ready.
No, you weren't.
We weren't ready. We
I
weren't
missed
ready.
it. What happened? What was it? I missed it.
You know what's crazy? I don't know, cause like honestly, that's a good question, cause I scored and then like I saw DK, we were hyped, like everybody was hyped, and then after the game, like we was like, we didn't do it. So you know what? I guess we may be saving it for Steelers home game debut.
Okay, a little tease there. What's it like playing with DK? I know he got a couple balls, and you got to see that explosion out in space. What was it like watching him up close and personal?
It was super cool, but I think one of the coolest things was seeing just how his intensity throughout the game, even during the run plays. Like you watch him backside, like he's bringing it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's sending the message, and just I feel like just his demeanor, just like how approachable and cool he is, just in as far as being in the receiver room, has just like definitely helped us. And seeing it on game day, how like I didn't, because I think I was blocking backside, so I really saw when he caught the little bubble, and I saw it when he was probably like 10, 15 yards already down the field. So I didn't even know that he had caught it at the line, cut back in to go back out. I was like, you got to be to go in and get back out on the defense in the NFL is like it's pretty hard, and someone decides to get up to speed that quick. I mean, like that just shows you like what he can just like bring to our offense when you can have a guy that size can dump a ball at the line of scrimmage and he end up 50, 60 yards down the field is like that takes a lot of pressure off us as an offense.
Yeah, when you can get a defender like having their head back trying to run and just trying to dive at it for like a last minute, you got him in a bad position.
No, right.
Calvin, you've had consistent improvement over your entire career. What was the biggest thing you wanted to work on this offseason before you came into the season?
That's a good question. So like each year, like I feel like hold myself to a standard and to a level of like regardless of stats and stuff, I know if my game has improved. And like that's really a lot of times it's really like throughout practice because like that's what you do more than play games. You practice 4 or 5 times a week and you play only once a week. So and that's one thing that since I was a walk on at Memphis, like always have done is like throughout the season, if I don't like, I have to make sure that my game is getting better. And so going into this season, it was just, especially expanding upon last season, just continuing to make those contested catches and to just run my routes with more precision. And so that's why, honestly, for me, that catch that I did have down that was toward the red zone was pretty big for me because that was something that I have been going into this season working on and just not necessarily working on in terms of all the time just reps, but just like mindset of knowing that when the ball's in the air, like yes, I have the ability to use late hands and stuff, but one of my best traits is my ability to jump and I feel like my strong hands. And so I was like, sometimes it's a time to use late hands as a receiver, but sometimes it's time to just go up and attack the ball. And so I was like going to this season, I was like my mindset starting off is like I'm gonna just go up and attack every ball that's either back shoulder or underthrown in any capacity. And that's just something that, like I said, like that I was going into this season wanting to improve on.
Talking about your Memphis days, there's a matchup that's always shown on YouTube: Calvin Austin versus Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
How many times have you watched that video and thought, "Oh, I'm cooking everybody"?
He gave you high praise too. He did say you're one of the toughest guys ever guarded. He said that.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. When I was, because obviously we were the same draft class, so when I forgot what I was doing, because the DBs they're like the last group to go during the combine. So like I remember waking up that morning and getting like my notifications were like I had a lot of notifications. I was like, I already ran and stuff like that. And I saw when he said that, I was like, draft stock, right? Draft stock. But nah, it was definitely cool to earn that praise from now the highest paid corner, you know what I'm saying, and one of the top corners in the game, and that matchup was something because since he was in our conference, he started as a true freshman, and we had a guy on our team, number 10, DeMonte Coxey, who plays for the Toronto, who plays for Toronto in the CFL, and so when this was my redshirt sophomore year, so this was the year I earned a scholarship. I'm watching them battle, and I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Coxey kind of got the better of him, but to see him as a true freshman be able to compete, and then the next year now is what I'm saying, me versus him, and me going that season, that game, knowing that he's projected to be one of the top picks. That was definitely a game that I had circled, and it was definitely a good back and forth, and to see us now doing it in the league is something that's definitely cool.
Cam, can I actually stay on Mississippi State here?
Go ahead.
Calvin, when I first, I actually watched this game live, but when you were drafted, this game was a big game that was brought about you. You played Mississippi State. You had 9 catches for 105 yards and I think 2 touchdowns. But the most important play in that game to me was the punt return.
Yeah.
Where you knew a rule. Can you take us back to that? How long before that game did you know that rule? And that really shows your football, how heads up you were. So take us through that game and how much confidence it did kind of dominate in an SEC school.
So the rule, I actually learned that rule when me and my dad used to just watch. Me and my dad used to watch a lot of football. Me and my dad did grow up Cowboys fans. That everybody crazy. It's crazy. I know. I had to drop that in, and so I'm gonna get pretty specific right here. It was Dwayne. We were watching. It was a punt, and Dwayne Harris. He used to play for East Carolina. The guy had like tried to throw the punt back to like so they could down it, and he picked it up and ran it. And so I remember, and so like that rule has kind of been ingrained in my mind. And so that game, boom, it was a short kick. The guy caught it, threw it back. And when he threw it back, like you see all the Mississippi State players, like they just like go to standing, almost like walking off. And like I was looking back the whole time to see, what's gonna happen. Like, did he save it? Did he go in the end zone? And then they just leave it there. And so like I just like slide right in, run, pick it up, and like I just hit the sideline and was gone. And so it was so funny after the game. Like so many of their fans were like, they were so mad. Y'all cheated, blah, 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 this and that. I'm like, hey, the refs did not, like, they didn't blow the play dead. And so I'm like, you just play till the whistle. And then, but taking it back to that game, that was obviously a big game for me because even on their side of the ball, they had Emmanuel Forbes and Mart Emerson, two guys who are corners in the NFL today. And so that was definitely a game, being a receiver, that having a big game in that would open some eyes.
Mm-hmm. Being a Memphis kid, born and raised, and then going to Memphis, talk about growing up through that process and then finally make it to the NFL.
Yeah. So, man, growing up in Memphis, like I would always go to all the Memphis football camps. So this was when they had Larry Porter, Coach Fuente, Coach Norvell. Like I went to all the camps and everything, and so obviously growing up, me and my dad taking me and my big sister to the games and stuff when there would be 2,000 fans in a 50,000 seat stadium. Everybody leaving halftime because we're losing by 50. Like that's what, like, growing up, like that's, what I'm saying. And so I was like, my mindset, I was like, oh yeah, I'm finna be a top recruit. I'm finna go to Memphis and like, I'm finna flip the program. And so, it's obviously started before that with Coach Fuente and everything, changing the program. But even as it continued to build, like I always wanted to stay at home and play for play for the hometown team, and jump into senior year. Obviously didn't get a scholarship offer, but Coach Norvell, sat down with me and my parents and was like, we want to offer him a preferred walk on. And, I'm telling you now, like, if he goes out and does what he says he's going to do, like, he was like, obviously, I'm going to give everybody a fair shot. And, it's going to be up to if he showed me what he can do, like, I'm not going to have any choice but to, give him what he deserves. And so, obviously going from 2017 when I first got there to 2019 when I kind of popped off and started playing and earning my scholarship after that season to 2020 COVID year and 2021 going for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, like doing that like in my hometown in Memphis, where all my family cousins coming to the game, like a place where I like wanted to be was something that was like truly special. And like especially going into that senior year, like I remember in like even through spring practice, like my intensity and mindset was like just like I was fully locked in on like I felt like I was like I'm from Memphis. This is like my hometown team. Like us winning conference, like I'm putting that on my back. Like I just want us to be a successful and a good emblem for the city. So that's why that Mississippi State game, having the SEC team come to Memphis and like to beat them was something that was like very big. But obviously now like being in the NFL and being a walk on from that came from Memphis State, stayed at home and played. It's just truly special to like even when I go back to see like how much love the city shows, because even when I was there they show love, and to now when I go back them to show like even more love is like truly something special. And like it's even more rewarding because like obviously after that 2020 year when I went for 1,000 yards, like I had some schools, like some big time schools that were like calling, like that were like if you want to transfer like you can come here. And so to be able to
Who were the
stay.
schools?
Yeah, who was it?
So a couple of them I'll just say was like one was Georgia and one was Florida State. So like
Norvell, right? Coach
Norvell.
Norvell.
Like, and that was just honestly for me something that was like that was big because I was like to be a walk on, to even have to know that I can go to these schools or these schools would like want me now. I was like that was very like rewarding to just even know that I had that ability to even go. And so but to to stay in Memphis and to have to be drafted and to hopefully have the success that I'm having and will continue to have, Lord willing, is something that like that I hold like very near and dear to my heart for sure.
I know you were a track star, and I know you have school records and sprints. We're All-American in track. Are you the fastest on the team, though?
That's a good question, man. Look, when people ask me this, I'ma always bet on myself because I feel like if we're in a race setting, like I feel like my competitive, like I feel like I'm gonna end up winning. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this is probably the fastest team I've been on to where I have people where I'm like, okay, if we are gonna race, like you know what I'm saying, like everybody better be on their A game because you can't just come. This not a team where you can just I'm just gonna jump out of bed and run and I'm gonna win. Nah, you gotta be, you gotta go and warm up and stuff and be locked in because we got some guys that can run.
All right, give me your dream race. 5 guys, you included. So give me 4 more people
from the team.
From the team or the NFL, who you want to race, or anybody.
Anybody. Okay, so from the team, it's gonna be DK. Obviously, if you're gonna say NFL, you got to put Tyreek in there. Scotty, my boy Scotty.
Scotty.
You know who else I'm gonna say? Roman too. Roman. Scotty and Roman. I want Scotty and Roman too. Yeah. And because people gonna be, people sleep on Roman's speed. Roman can run. And I'm gonna think of one other guy. Let's go with the Dolphins again. Let's go. No. The Lions. Jameson Williams. I want to see him in the race because
I thought you were gonna throw I Show Speed in there.
Hey, let's do it. We was, it's funny. Me and Scotty was joking. We was like, at the end of the season, like we need to get some streamers, some of the fast NFL players, and like have a race, do some relays. Like that'll be something we should do. Like put some put the football to track. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna cook? You gonna cook speed?
I'm burning them.
We gotta set it up, Cam. Cam, get it set up for
All
us.
Get
right,
it set up, Cam.
I ain't running, but
You ain't running.
We didn't think you were
Shoot
running.
The gun. Shoot the gun. Just shoot
Yeah,
I got you.
Nobody
I
thought
got
you were
you.
running. Don't worry, Calvin. You're 5'9". You're not the biggest receiver. Who were some guys that you looked up to in the NFL that maybe you based your game off of?
So this is gonna be funny again. So obviously I was a Cowboys fan, like I said. So one of the receivers that I did grow up was like watching was like Cole Beasley. So seeing how he was obviously like a guy similar to my size, but using his like route savvy, and he obviously wasn't the fastest, and he was quick, but he wasn't just like the quickest. So like just seeing how he was able to have success and longevity in the league was something that I was like thought was very cool. And then Darren Sproles, when I was growing up, just to see how he was getting it done at the running back position gave me hope, because I'm like, dude, he's doing that as a running back where he's taking way more hits and stuff. And obviously he was like super quick, but to see how he was getting it done in the NFL, like, because honestly, it was funny growing up. Like, my dad thought I was gonna be like a slot corner, like that was gonna be my thing. Like, I was gonna be a slot corner because at that time there wasn't like too many like short slot receivers in the league. Like, that really wasn't a big thing back then. And so my dad was like, you can be like a slot corner. And so like seeing those guys like Cole Beasley, Darren Sproles, like shorter guys like that have success, like that really got me thinking. I was like, okay, like the NFL, like I can make it here.
I got to bring some of these questions up, so bear with me right here. Calvin, when you stand next to Darnell Washington, is this like a twins situation where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito? Like, you two are the complete opposite, but are always bonding.
Always together, huh? I'm his bodyguard. I got to protect him. Bodyguard. So, but nah, Darnell, that's my boy. Like, even when he first came in, like, obviously our lockers are right close to each other. It is, I'm about to say, it is funny like that we would be, some of the closest guys on the team. But nah, that's definitely, and it's funny too. I remember one time we was walking to the plane. I was like, oh yeah, the media, they're for sure finna have a blast with this one when they this one.
And then my other question, sometimes you'll hear on the sideline, I yell out and I say, my short kings.
Yes, sir.
Who are the short kings?
Me and 30. Me and Jalen. You already know it. Me and Jalen. Hey, it's funny. It's funny when we first started saying that was like right before like the Giants game last year. And I was like, hey, you got to put the crown on right after I scored. You was like, all right, I got you. And boom, it happened right like the next game.
Yep. So who's taller, you or Jalen?
Bruh, it's funny you were saying that because I think it was during camp. I think who was that was messing with me because they were looking at us and was like, is Jalen taller than you? They were like, I think you the shortest guy on the team. I was like, hold on, wait, am I? So I ain't gonna lie, I think Jalen may have me by a little bit. So
I'll only say this: Jalen, he gets very like embarrassed by it, and like he's like yelling about. Like he was trying to tell me he was 5'8", and I was like, bro, there's no way you're 5'8".
Wait, 5'8"?
With cleats.
No, he's not even. Not even. And like I was like having him measure himself up against other people, and he was just like, bro, don't do that. Like, you're gonna embarrass me.
That you hit him close to home, huh?
And he's a cat guy, so it doesn't really help his situation.
Hey, don't hate on cats. Don't hate on cats. Don't hate on cats. All right, dogs are cool too, but don't hate on cats.
You can't. You right.
Yeah. Cal, you're a dog person, so
yeah,
dogs are definitely cooler than cats.
You can be both. You can be both.
No, you can be both. I guess you can be both.
I have both. I am both. You're talking to somebody who is both.
You're walking proof.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm living proof right here. All right.
Proof.
Yeah. All right, Calvin, I want to ask you, you've been in the league, 3 years now, 4 years. You've played with a bunch of different quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers. How are they all a little bit different and all a little bit the same?
So I would say how they're all like the same. I would say that like each guy that I've been with like approached the game with like like great seriousness. You know what I'm saying? Like they were each one like I would say like was a pro in how they approached the game and tried to um, communicate with everybody, and everybody went out there with that competitive spirit and drive to want to win. And I would say just like what they do different is obviously I feel like each quarterback that I played with had been like at a different stage in their career. You know what I'm saying? And so just to see in terms of like obviously with Kenny it was like we were kind of learning at the same time, to learn together. So it wasn't, we weren't doing too many checks and stuff yet, and or having too many cans. You know what I'm saying? So it was like just a different type of. We were just learning together, I'd say. And so then you got a guy like Russ who was, he's a undersized quarterback, but was what came with us was something to prove. And just seeing obviously he how he approached the game is he's gonna do everything in his power to make sure that he's duly prepared in all areas. And then obviously having a guy like eight, just like his mindset and how he just sees the game is like so different. Like you can just tell that like I don't know if he got like a sixth sense for just football or something, but like he just like has a different just like feel for the game. You know what I'm saying? And so like each one just like has their own unique type of like gift that like allows them to be like a good quarterback.
What's been the biggest adjustment from Memphis to Pittsburgh for you?
So obviously like I said, like I grew up in Memphis, went to school there, so like coming to Pittsburgh was like my first time. Like I trained in Frisco for the draft, but that was what like 2.5 3 months. So coming to Pittsburgh was like my first time living outside of Memphis. And obviously the weather is different, the people, the culture is different. um so that was all something that is like, that's different. I would say like, north and south. But I would say that like the passion that each city has for like its sports team and its people are something that like has been a cool carryover. And just being coming from Memphis, the football team, and playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers is kind of like, because Memphis, like obviously, like I said, like I grew up, we were winning 1 and 2 games. Like the way we built our program to where it is today was like Coach Fuente and then Coach Norvell instilling like a grind about Memphis, like really, really, truly embracing the grind. And the culture is like something to where that when I got drafted by Pittsburgh, I was like, I feel the exact same thing. Like, here in Pittsburgh, it's like it's about the work, it's about the grind, and like that's how you get the W's on Sunday. You know what I mean? It's no shortcut. And seeing how in Memphis, like to go from winning 1 game to winning conference championship, like there's no shortcut to that. Before now, obviously it was no NIL or nothing. So like that's it. That's straight, work, guys in the locker room, building a culture and building a standard and holding themselves to it. And so that was one of the cool transitions that like I saw coming from Memphis to Pittsburgh, and something that where I feel like what I tell people is why like I feel like this transition and like being selected to come to this city and this organization was like a match made. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like the perfect fit.
What's been your favorite Tomlin-ism so far?
Um, I'm not even gonna go say Tomlin-ism, but I'm gonna say the one that always sticks out to me and that I always remember is the one that I think, I don't know, he first said it before the Giants game in the hotel when he was talking about like when he says like star player, I'm talking to you. And like
A players.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he's saying that, and he's like, he's not talking to anybody specific. He's like, if this message hits you home, or if you feel like this message is directed towards you, it is. If you think you that star, so like how he was just saying that, like, it's not like, because it's like be a star player. It's not like something like they do something, secretive, or, they do they turn some short corner. No, no, no. It's them deciding in their head that they're going to go out there and make those plays. And just hearing how he just said it so bluntly and plainly, it like just showed, like it made that right there. I remember just sitting down there thinking, I'm like, yeah, that's me. You talking to me. Like I felt like he was talking to me that day. And so just that mindset and just like how he empowers the players is something that it to me is like the coolest thing.
What was your first impression of Coach Tomlin, and did you meet with the Steelers at the Combine? And if so, what was that meeting like?
So I didn't. So I met with Coach Frizz, who was a receiver coach at the time. I met with him at the combine, which was like the little downstairs part, was just like the little, like it's like walk around. I didn't have like a formal with the Steelers, so I had like a 10-minute talk with Coach Frizz at the combine, and so I had like two other formals. And throughout the whole process, I've been talking to some other teams. I would say like once to a couple times a week, and the Steelers weren't one of those teams. But my agents had told me, he was like, in the draft, like a lot of times teams don't show their hand, or like you a lot of times you get drafted by a team, like especially when you're in that like mid round type of area, a team that you like maybe haven't talked to a lot. And so like when I remember watching the draft and seeing what teams had like the next pick, and seeing the Steelers and like seeing the Steelers and kind of like skipping over, because I was like, I just talked to them once at the combine. Like I didn't really gauge that much, that they had that much interest. And so, obviously Tomlin was the guy that when I called and when I answered the phone, and obviously to hear like a legendary coach like that, to hear his voice, I mean, that was something like for me and my dad and my family, that was like crazy. And so, obviously, first impression meeting Coach T was he's probably one of the first coach that I had that like is like that type of coach in terms of like, what you said, what you would consider like a players coach, you know what I'm saying? And I would just say like he showed me a new and different style of coaching. Like I would say, like Coach Norvell is like one of the other coaches that I hold in high regards, and his coaching style is like a little more like head on. But to see Coach T, like his style is head on. Like he's gonna give you the information and like the truth in that type of setting. But to just see how like he like goes about encouraging and challenging players in a new setting, you know what I'm saying? Like a new way I didn't really know existed, like was something that I was like, okay, nah, that's cool. Like I didn't know, like I kind of thought you kind of had to, be a little, just straight on, head on with all your players. But like to see how he can like, like for it to be a leader of a whole team, but still kind of know like what player needs what type of coaching style. It was something that would make me have like all the respect for Coach G.
Calvin, what should be expected from you in this offense throughout this year?
I would just say to be, I'm gonna sound cliche, but like a team player in terms of like doing the little things, in terms of blocking, um, just just being there for my teammates and just trying to show up in those clutch and tough moments. Those are the things that um, I think that I want to be for this offense, and I can already tell going forward, just this offense in general, how we have how we have a togetherness about each other, and so just continuing to um, be a glue guy for this offense and a guy that continues to bring the offense together when those adverse moments hit, when as they will come, because this is the game of football. Just that's what I think my expectations and my role for this team is like, is I'm gonna make sure is just to do those little things and to always just be a team player first, because that's, I mean, when you have as much talent as we do, and if you have a bunch of team players, like that's when you see everybody having that success.
All right, I want to flip the script, move on to the Seahawks. We got our first home game, and you ready for it? You ready for this home opener?
I'm ready. Getting back into Aperture is always fun. I'm about to say our fans super passionate, especially coming into this year with the momentum and everything, especially after a big first win. I'm super excited.
So what does Seattle have on defense that everybody should be aware of?
Obviously they have even last year they had Witherspoon, a young corner. They have, and with Tariq Woolen, somebody who I played against in college at UTSA. Their back end is something that they put a lot of draft capital in, and something that obviously is going to be a good matchup, but something that it'll be a good I'll say a good matchup in terms of they have great length and they do different things, and but coming obviously having a guy like 8, we also can do a lot of different things to combat that. So that'll be a good challenge, and it'll be cool to see. It'll be cool to see DK go against some guys that I'm sure he's very familiar with too. So I would say their back end is something that they for their defenses that they definitely hold in high regard.
Has DK been able to give you any information on that unit? Obviously, he probably played against them a lot. Is he giving you anything?
Yep, he already sent out the scouting report. That just shows you what type of guy DK is, though. He's a true pro. Like, he legit, like, even last week, like, the Monday, he sent out the scouting report of all the corners, what they are good at, their strengths, weaknesses, what routes are good against. Like, he does all that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, DK is a true pro, is a pro's pro. You know what I'm saying?
What's that energy going to be like seeing Aaron Rodgers come out in the black and gold at home?
That's funny. I'm looking forward to it, just to see just the how the crowd embraces him, to see how, what quarter it'd be like to see after that when the defense is up and what I'm saying, that the music start playing, the towels start flying, just to see how, what I'm saying, just to see him embrace that, and to see how, the passion of the fans, like, is gonna, I already know it's gonna be like surreal, and so I'm just excited to be a part of it.
They're announcing the offense Sunday, right, guys?
They need to. We don't deserve to be announced right now.
Well, hey, I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's his first home game. It's his first home game.
That would be cool to hear A-Rod get called out, though. It would be cool.
All right, Calvin, we like to play a game with all of our guests here. It's called This or That. I'm going to give you two options. You got to pick one, all right?
Gotcha.
All right. Catch a 50-yard touchdown or a punt return to the house?
Punt return to the house.
Rather room with on the road, Connor Heyward or Darnell Washington?
Oh, my boy, C. Connor.
All right. Really? Do you want to elaborate? Why?
Rookie class. That's my rookie.
Okay.
Came in together, yeah.
All right. Better food, Memphis or Pittsburgh?
Memphis.
Rather live after you're done playing, Memphis or Pittsburgh?
That's a good question, because I've honestly had some conversation about this. That's what, it's crazy you asked that. I'm true. I have to play. It's the game. Okay.
Got to pick one.
Right now, I'm gonna say Memphis, but I would say it's Pittsburgh is showing me a lot now. I will say that, though.
All right, last one. Best Memphis Tiger player of all time, D'Angelo Williams or Isaac Bruce?
I grew up watching D'Angelo. He showed me. He the one who made me truly want to come to Memphis, so I got to go D'Angelo.
I got one more. Who's faster, Calvin or DK?
That race would be funny to watch.
Let's go 19.
All right, I want to say thank you to Calvin for coming on. Man, we got to hear about what all you're going through and what we can expect. But excited for your future. And excited for this next game. I know you guys put on a show. Hopefully the defense can get their shit together so we can match that. So, but thank you so much for coming on, Cal.
Appreciate you, man. Good to talk to y'all.
Appreciate you. And that's our show for Not Just Football. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
All right, Cam, let's go to our favorite game that I don't know if we could say you're contractually obligated to do anymore, but you're obligated to do this game. Your favorite one. My cat, Joe Green, is here. You can say hi to Joe. Ask Cam anything. You can go to all of our socials, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you find Not Just Football. Give us a question. Cam has to answer it. We won't talk about the contract thing anymore. Cam, here we go. What player/coach has been the biggest influence on your career other than head coach Mike Tomlin?
I want to give some love to my old D-line coach. I've only had the privilege of having 2 D-line coaches. My last one is Carl Dunbar, who I think does an amazing job. He's coached guys like Kevin Williams, Pat Williams, Jared Allen, to younger guys where he was responsible for those D linemen at Alabama taking off, whether it was Marcel Darius, Ashawn Robinson. But then before him, there was John Mitchell. And he kind of set the stage for how I prepare. It was always from a worker's mentality where it doesn't matter what you did in college, it doesn't matter what people think of you, you got to work. And I'm going to grade you at a different level than anybody else. When one person might give you a plus, I'll give you a minus. And now that's the way I look at my film. And so when I get a sheet that says how well I've played or what they're looking at, I'm more hard on myself than, what someone else grades me at.
Yeah, that's such a tough question for you, not to go too much into this, but like I feel like you've always told me like guys like Kiesel too and Aaron Smith. Like, there's just so many guys with that organization that you could go to, but cool to hear those 2 names. All right, let's go top 5 defensive tackles of all time.
I'm gonna go Mean Joe, 1. Mm-hmm. I like. Do we think of 3-4 ends as D tackles?
I do, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would count that. I mean,
okay,
it's your list. However you want to do it.
Well, I'm going to put Aaron Donald up there as well.
Okay.
Much respect out there. I would also put Chris Dolman.
Okay.
A lot of respect there. Haloti Nada.
Good one. This is it. So, right? This is it. Joe Green, Donald, Dolman.
Shoot, man.
This is it. And your list cannot change. Once you say this, it is closed. It's locked. It cannot change.
It's a tie between Richard Seymour, because I look for 3-4 end, and Warren Sapp for me.
Man, Warren actually threw a little shade at you a few years ago, but I love that you didn't let that affect you. You didn't let that affect your rankings, though. I appreciate that. No bias here. All right, last one. It asked for top 10 Steelers. I'm going to keep it shorter because I feel like you're going to have a hard time with that. Top 5 Steelers of all time.
That makes it that much easier.
All right, if you want to do 10, do 10.
Give me 10, and I'm not. These are not in order, folks.
Okay.
Mean Joe.
So he's 1.
They're not in order. Troy.
2.
Ben. Franco. Terry.
All right, so your top 5 is Joe Green, Palomalu, Ben, Franco, and Terry.
These are not
top 5.
In order.
Let's get 6 through 10. Let's get 6 through 10 here.
Let's go Mel Blount, and this is not in 6 through 10.
6 through 10. 7.
Mel Blount. Let's see. James Harrison.
8.
Jack Lambert.
9.
Jack Ham.
All right, you're at 10.
Wait, I'm at 10?
I can't believe you have Jack Ham at 10, though. It's kind of a wild list.
It's not. It's
a wild
not
list.
At 10. Man, and I don't like to. I don't like to put current Steelers on because I feel like we got more work to do. Oh shoot, man! I'm gonna have to take one and put AB on there.
Who you taking off?
Oh man.
And just know AB will be slotted at this point. So like, if you take off like Jack Ham, AB's 10. If you take off Troy, AB's 2.
I never put these in order. Don't do that to me. Who would I take off? Just add them on, and we'll say it's 11.
Or OLI, others receiving votes.
Top 11 Steelers of all time.
I mean, listen, if AB's 11, that's fine. He's good. All right, so AB is 11 though. You just said top 11, so
top 11 in no particular order.
Okay. Just how your brain works.
Yes.
That's how the order was. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for playing Ask Cam Anything. And everybody remember, go to our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitter, our TikTok, or wherever else you see us. Ask Cam and use the hashtag Ask Cam Anything, and we will put it on the show.
Thanks for Starbucks for their support. There are 3 things that always define the fall: football, cardigans, and Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes. It's time to embrace fall with this seasonal classic pumpkin spice latte, handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, pumpkin, and then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Get it while it's hot or iced.